Hey everyone, welcome back to the 5-Hour Show. I'm your host, and this is Raymond's Robots Reviews, Repairs, and Restorations. And today, as you can see, we are going to review this vinyl prototype test shot figure. Test shot, not a prototype, test shot. This kaiju is known as G-Fantis. I don't know that much about it, to tell you the truth, but today we're going to do a few things with this figure so you can see what it is and what it does and who made it and where it was made. As you can see, I have a Gundam figure here. This is not a 1/100 scale. I believe this is a 1/72 scale Gundam, so you can see more or less the size of the G-Fantis vinyl figure. This figure, and here's a AA battery just for scale purposes, so you can tell how big this figure is. And this G-Fantis figure is actually 7 inches tall, or in the metric system it's 18 centimeters tall. Yeah, we won't need this anymore, or that figure. And so here we have a test shot of a G-Fantis vinyl figure. This was given to me by one of my best friends, Tony Preto. In the world of vinyls and monsters and Godzilla and stuff like that, Tony's pretty well known. He's been coming to Japan for about, I would say, 30 years. And he's had a friendship with Fumiaki for quite some time as well. I think I met him about 20 years ago. But anyway, together they've been working on making figures for YMSF and for, other exclusive figures and whatnot. My friend Tony gave me this last summer, and I have been wanting to make a video about it. Now this figure, again, it's a really cool figure. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of articulation. So for a 7-inch figure, 7 points of articulation is not bad. Now he did tell me, I asked him permission, he said, yeah, sure, make a video. He did tell me that this was, unfortunately, it was produced in Mexico. Which, it's not that it's bad, it's just that, Mexico, I don't think has experience in making vinyl figures. That's Japan's territory. But, I kind of wish they did. Anyway, so Mexico made this, and of course, he did not like the test shot. My friend Tony, when it comes to vinyl figures, he's very picky, and I understand why. He wants the best figure for his own collection, and of course, if he can make these figures and put them in his collection, of course he's going to have to sell quite a few to be able to put that figure in his collection. And I know for a fact he has a huge collection. Okay, so anyway, one of the problems with this figure when he gave it to me was his tail, and I'll show you that in just a minute. All right, and here we are again. Now, if you noticed at the beginning of the video, this tail was not that loose, and so that's the problem. That's what we're going to repair today. And in no way does it affect the vinyl toy. But as you can see, this was the major issue from this vinyl being made in Mexico. They like to do things, for the most part, eyeballing it. Americans do too, but sometimes we do check our measurements. In this case, the tail piece, you can see the connector is too long. Now there are some of you out there that might have this test shot. And while initially when my friend gave me this, when Tony gave me this vinyl, I had fixed it right away because I just thought, well, you know, it's easy to fix. It's an easy fix. Now, I know there's 1,000 pieces of this out there. I'm assuming a lot of them have this issue. Now, if this were helicopter G-Fantis, that'd be cool. But I don't think serious collectors will like that very much. Now, today I'm just going to show you a quick fix for this, and of course it involves either two options to fix this. One, you can use a thick O-ring, and if you don't have O-ring, you can use a couple of rubber bands. I have an O-ring, but it's too small, so I am going to use a couple of rubber bands. If you have the diameter of the inside, here, let me pop this out. You know what? I don't want to break it, but shoot. Give me a second. All right, and I've got some hot water here. Hopefully that'll help. My Simpsons mug. But with some hot water, I should loosen up. This plastic does actually, this vinyl actually does get really loose. Or it loosens up, it softens up real quick. And I can pop the tail out. See? And so that's that. Alright, and here we go. I was able to pop out the tail, of course, using hot boiling water. You can soften up this, and this vinyl really gets hard very quickly. The softness after dipping it in some boiling water only lasts for so long. It becomes really rock hard almost. I'm sure that's all vinyl. I'm no vinyl expert, but again, use boiling water to get parts to disconnect. So as you can see, here's the tail, and again, it's too long. So the inside of the tail, you can't see it, but I would say that the meat on the inner diameter of this tail is about 2 millimeters. I would say 2-3 millimeters, and this is way too long. It should be, this gap should be about 2 to 3 millimeters as well. So that's why that thing's spinning around like a helicopter. So what I did was, initially I had put rubber bands on the end to make up for the lost, for the discrepancy in vinyl. And that's what we're going to do using some Wagyu gum bundle, pure rubber bands. Pure, because, well, if it's not pure, you don't want that. So anyway, so we'll just grab a few. I would say maybe 3, and we're going to get rid of that. We're going to tie them and we're going to slip them over here. And that might be too many, one too many. Let's try that again. Maybe with just 2. Yeah, that might do it, just the 2. And one more. And that might be it right there. So, okay, so I think 2 will do it. Okay. So as you can see, there are 2 rubber bands tightly wound up and there. Now you can use an O-ring if you can determine the diameter of the inner gap you can determine it. You can test different types of O-rings and slide them in. Okay, and so now we've got our rubber band in here. We're gonna have to slip this into his butt or his tail. Okay, so now the vinyl has hardened and we have finished our repair with the rubber band. We used 2 rubber bands, wound them up real tight. Now we're gonna slip in the joint. We'll be right back in a minute. All right, and we're back. Here is a small microfiber towel. Here is my boiling hot water. Here is the G-Fantis vinyl, and here's the repair part. So all we need to do now is dip in the boiling water just for a few minutes, or I'm sorry, a few seconds. You know, less than a minute, 30 seconds, whatever. Just a little more. And you know what? While this is, let's make sure that that gap is in there so that it stays there when we pop this joint in. Uh-oh, see? Damn it, no, that's not what I wanted to happen. But that's not a biggie. We got it. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I think it's ready. Make sure there's no water in there. Make sure it's partially dry. And now it's really soft. So now we can stick in the joint on camera, which is really hard. Wow, this is just super hard to get in. What's going on? Why is this so? Is it hardening? And using a small flathead, you can just squeeze in, you know, the rubber band. Just try not to pop it, of course. And as the vinyl hardens, that doesn't look right there, but we'll manage to tuck it in. Damn it. And I think that's why a O-ring would be better. But let's take a look at the final result. And like I had told my friend Tony when he'd given me the figure, I said, hey, yo, Tony, this is how you fix that. Just throw in a O-ring or a rubber band like I used, and you won't have helicopter G-Fantis anymore. And I am 100% sure that this method will work for any joint on a vinyl figure that might be super loose. So you won't have to glue things or anything, and you can have that tail popped up like so. And that is it for today's review of G-Fantis. Again, some of that detail was really good. The sculpting was fabulous. But again, some of it got lost during the production process. And again, my friend was pretty upset about that. Now, I do like the figure. It looks great, but I believe they are making a second sculpture. I am going to leave Tony's website link down below. I hope you enjoyed this small repair. And, you know, if I do get any other pieces from him, I'll gladly review them. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you're done, well, I'll see you guys on the next episode of the 5-Hour Show. If you stick around, I'm going to do a small Easter egg review of another figure. So, again, thanks again for coming. I'll see you guys on the next 5-Hour Show. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, dislike, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. And again, take care and God bless. See you guys later. And that was the Easter egg vinyl figure. Just kidding. I'm going to show it to you guys. And the vinyl figure is none other than King Kong. It's a brand new King Kong. And what we're going to do is we are going to open this figure and take a look at it. There we go. Let's crack this sucker open and take him out. And we're going to take a look at him. King Kong. Beautiful, beautiful sculpting job. Look at that. Just beautiful. King Kong here has 3 points of articulation. Of course, the waist is limited, but the arms are not. As you can tell, it is a small piece, To tell you the truth, I think it is maybe, yeah, it's under 6 inches. That would be under 15, most likely, yeah, about 15 centimeters. And King Kong, aka known as Tyrone King Kong, is made in China. This was made back in 2007 by, oh, look at that, Raymundo Toys. Huh, that's funny. My name is Raymundo. Wow, what a coincidence. But anyway, that's the figure. The sculpting is really nice, and it is very, very cool. The hair, the small details, just makes this figure look really, really awesome. It's a, it's a great figure. I loved King Kong when I first saw it. It was a great, great movie. The Peter Jackson was so-so. That last movie that came out, King Kong or Kong Island, whatever it was called, was okay. Not a fan of Larson. Kind of hoped King Kong would have ate her. So, anyway, and that's it for this little Easter egg review. If you have any other questions about this figure or the G-Fantis, once again, I will have a link down below for Tempting Toys. If you are interested in purchasing any type of vinyl figure monsters from Japan or exclusives from YMSF, please feel free to contact Tony Preto at temptingtoys.com. That's, once again, Tony Preto at temptingtoys.com. Here we are, side-by-side comparison of G-Fantis and King Kong himself. Now, a final bit of information for you. The G-Fantis figure test shot weighs 147 grams or 5.2 ounces. The Kong, on the other hand, only weighs 66 grams or 2.35 ounces. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy this review, this Easter egg. These two ginormous giants, scaled down, collectible vinyl figure monster toys that will fit in anyone's collection. Now, again, if you are searching for these figures yourself, please don't hesitate to contact Tony Preto at Tempting Toys and Collectibles. Thank you once again for coming to the 5-hour show. I hope you enjoy it. There will be more. Thank you for coming. And again, God bless. Take care. See ya.